Hello, I'm Dr. Bond. This is the Bond Report. Today we're covering our BAFA series number 3, of BAFA from the general to the particular in the terms of the science of BAFA. Let us begin our early study of BAFA by seeing what insight we can get by taking a specific subgroup and see if we can study them in some detail and attempt to shine light on more general BAFA insights and truths that we can try and do that. The clade really, of academia is abundantly rich in very highly developed specimens of BAFA. And on the hoof, as it were, you see them walking around for easy study. And we may properly begin some preliminary inquiries here. Aristophanes, the playwright, wrote, there are many things you can't correct. Youth ages, immaturity is outgrown, ignorance can be educated, drunkenness can be sobered, but stupid, though, lasts forever. He didn't change it into the noun form in the Old Greek. He said stupid. He didn't say stupidity. Stupid lasts forever. And we will see that there is an interesting, peculiar delusion that education makes people more intelligent. And anybody who's an MD or been through a great deal of higher education knows that nothing could be further from the truth. It tends to winnow out. Now, why universities? Where do they study them at? And this is a well-known phenomenon. And see, the reason that you go to universities for knowledge isn't what people think. The reason that they go is you go in when you're, say, a freshman, the average age is going to be 18 years old. Now, who in the hell knows more than an 18-year-old? So that's about it. Typically, the seniors leave clueless, like a duck hit on the head, and kind of not knowing much of anything. Therefore, with the conservation of energy and matter, the conservation of knowledge would say that knowledge went somewhere. So it had to stay there. The knowledge, as the freshmen come in with a huge amount and the seniors leave with very little, the knowledge will just accumulate. There at the university, you can go there and scoop it up. Little known fact. We have here, we're going to do subtypes of BAFA. Academicus twiticus, the larger order, overeducated day, whose behavior should be closely studied by and easy to study, anyone with a strong stomach who's willing to listen to nonsense, have his time wasted, and do someone else's work can get up close to this guy and study him closely all he wants. That's all that it takes. And an investigator with a strong stomach and a willingness to listen to some nonsense. And that's pretty much, we'd go through, JAMA talked about this one year, the instincts, which is, I guess, an acronym in itself, the instincts of a born academic physician. Alpha 1 behavior with no particular reason. Do you think a conviction you can succeed where others have not? And a general self-assurance based on insufficient evidence. These are the true tools of the academic physician. Choosing an academic career, said Albert Einstein, is a temptation to superficiality and mediocrity such as only very strong characters can resist. We've all run into that. In terms of academic facility, a special fact here, the 45 presidents there have been, if one looks at the actual number of hours spent in the classroom, the least number is Abraham Lincoln, the second least number is George Washington. And to which I would say that the average student of history can draw his own conclusions about where that's going to take you. Now, William James, who is actually a pretty good guy here, but he looks so proud of himself here in this picture, and I've actually liked his philosophy, said if you lose one sense, the other senses become enhanced. And this is why people with no sense of humor often have an inflated sense of self-importance. I mean, this is empirically true. You can see this all the time. So these are some of the basic qualifications to be academicus twiticus and be studied by our group as we're studying this particular branch of assholes, by assholes for assholes. It's also a fact, no man ever born can stand before a classroom day after day and refrain from saying more than he knows. That's just not in people. Atwiticus, academic atwiticus, in the usual biologic form, like where we write TS in the Latin, you'll notice this when you get up close to them. They're intensely territorial, and they're ready to fight to the death at the drop of a hat for any perceived academic turf, inch by inch. scorched earth, fight to the death. The academic turf extends in several kingdoms, and they're ready to go like berserkers. Let's go right now. They tend to have a disdaining opinion of other A-twits, and you wish them to be disgraced or dead, preferably both, no particular order. And there's a proclivity for having others do your work for you. So typically you don't attempt this murder or this stuff, but you try and do it by proxy. And we will study some of the methods for the outlets of this academic murderous thing. Of the three types of turf, the first is intellectual. Yeah, that pipsqueak thinks he can argue this with me. Everybody's heard that. Now, if you're around these guys, you're getting ready for a meeting or something, what do you mean? That pipsqueak thinks he can argue this with me. The second is geographic. You mean to tell me that mealy-mouthed bastard thinks he can set up shop in my town? We've all heard it. We all believe it. Geography is easy to define, so the fortifications and the towers are out there right, and we're not giving up an inch, and that the property stops usually about half an inch inside that, but they're ready to defend that to the death at the drop of a hat. And the third and final is personal. Oh yeah? Well, nobody is going to show me up at this meeting. Turf number 3. He means it. A-twiticus is ready to tangle with other A-twits at any time, singly or in a group. They're quite fearless, and they will defend their turf, their subject, and this is BAFA. Here's a couple of cats looking each other over as an example. Here's territoriality, but basically it can confine to what T.S. Eliot said. Half of the harm done in the world is due to people that want to feel important. So this is your way of feeling important. And we get to the last one. Underneath your kindly old professor's hearts, underneath that exterior, beats the heart and soul of someone very different from what you perceive, as we show Genghis Khan here, getting ready to defend his turf. That guy is in the true academic Twiticus all the time, the full-blown one. Here's a statue they built in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. The local boy made good. That's an actual statue. You can see the little people down there. But yeah, let us broach this topic of Academicus Twiticus, and we'll study this more closely. Thank you very much. Tell your friends. Subscribe. Thank you.